Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Heart of Stone quest. Now, before we get going through this quest, we're going to cover a few things which are the requirements and items needed to complete the quest. So, firstly, a warning. This is quite a long quest, and it's really sort of like aggravating because you'll obviously understand when we get up to the part, but there's a piece of this quest where it's different for every player, and you have to try and solve this like kind of puzzle, and it's the instructions kind of to solve it are very bland. It's a little bit of just trial and error, so when you do get up to that point, I will obviously give you a pre-warning, but I will just try and explain it as best as I can, because even myself didn't really get it when I was doing it. It was more kind of luck that I was able to do it. But anyway, for the quest you need to have these requirements. So you need to have done Carnelian Rising, which obviously requires 50 quest points, Haziel, Cult and the Blood Pact, and you also need to have completed the Rune Memories quest. You'll also need to have level 25 Runecrafting and level 35 Magic, and you'll need to fight several enemies that vary between level 32 and 56. So for items you'll just want to bring food and armour, sort of the best you can, just to make it easier for you. The only things that I recommend is you bring a Wicked Hood, because that will help you get to the quest start point quicker, and because you're going to be going in the desert, it will be worthwhile bringing a water source for you as well, whether that's an enchanted water tiara or just water skins. Either way, that's enough about that. Now onto the actual quests themselves. So, we need to go and speak to Xenia and Ariane, who can be found in the entrance door of the Wizard's Tower. So the quickest way to get there is with your Wicked Hood. You can teleport to the very top of Wizard's Tower, and then you just need to head down to the ground floor. If you haven't got a Wicked Hood, the next quickest way to get there is to teleport to the Drainer Village Lodestone, and then head to Wizard's Tower from there. Either way, I'll speak to you once you are at the Wizard's Tower. So when you interact with Xenia and Ariane, it will come up with the quest to start. Obviously click to accept the quest, and a cutscene will occur where Ariane is not letting Xenia pass because she murdered an innocent man. Meet Ariane at the Old Tower, which is on the east side of the Wizard's Tower Island, and she'll explain that you need to track down Xenia with her using the help of the Kinestic Investigation Program Personality Lifeform Emulator, or KIPL for short. KIPL is designed to adapt to any challenge it faces and will be used to track Xenia down. So you want to talk to KIPL and use the Runic Frequency Modulator. Now this is the bit I was pre-warning you about at the beginning. So the idea of the modulator is to rotate the discs of 6 runes to find a frequency, which is indicated as a red dot bouncing up and down on the chart, which is on the right side of the display screen. The values are different for everyone. So once a signal is found, you'll have to rotate the discs to fit the height of the lit up rune columns to match with the height of the frequency in each position until it tells you a match has been found. The chart corresponds to the values the runes on each wheel are in. So the innermost rune on each disc is worth 3 points. So that's like the inner circle. The 2 on each side that are worth 2 points are on the second inner circle, and the remaining ones are all worth 1 point. So for example, if a fire rune was in the outmost circle, that would be worth 1 point. Plus a fire rune in the innermost circle is worth 3 points, which will equal a value of 4 on the chart. So, a good strategy is to narrow down how the wheels can be situated to match a single rune, and then brute force through the remaining combinations. So for example, if you need a cosmic rune score of 3, there are 2 cosmic runes in the puzzle, so one of them must be in a 1 position and one must be in a 2 position. That alone reduces the number of possible combinations by a factor. Another easier strategy is to change combinations until you see the red dot moving along the runes. When you see the red dot go high on the bar, that means that the runes are required to be turned until the bar matches the red dot. So when you have an idea for each column, turning the golem should then be a lot easier. For those of you who find it really difficult to follow the dot, you can also brute force the puzzle. This is done by leaving one dial at one rune, leaving the second dial at one rune, and then switching through all 6 runes on the last dial. After you've done that, you need to then switch to a new rune on the second dial and repeat that. When you've done all runes on the second dial, you'll then need to switch to a new rune on the first dial and repeat the process again, but that will take slightly longer as there are 216 possibilities. So my only real recommendation, and obviously like I said I didn't really get this bit myself, is obviously when you start seeing the bar or the signal, it pretty much means you've kind of got most of the runes correct. So it's just a case of making the coloured bar go high enough to where the dot is travelling. So if your bar is really low down at a certain point, for example like the fire rune section, and the dot is really high up, you need to then increase the value of that fire rune to increase the red bar to match where the dot is. But yeah, like I said, it's different for every player, so I can't really explain it any more than that. It's just a case of a little bit of trial and error. Keep having a little dabble with it, and eventually you will kind of get the gist of it. But yeah, it's a stupid part of this quest, and this is partly why I hated doing this quest so much. But once you find a match, it will then ask you to follow the signal, and there are 4 signals altogether, each leading to a location of an Elder God. Karamja is the full Elder God, White Wolf Mountain is the Wen Elder God, Intrana is the Bick Elder God. And when you get to each location, Kipple will appear and ask you to retune him to locate the portal. Now, I'm not too sure if all the order that you kind of pick up the signal is the same for every player, so you may have to like go to like Karamja, White Wolf Mountain, then Intrana, or Intrana, White Wolf Mountain, and Karamja. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but the last one will be the same for everyone. So what I'll do, I'll talk you through each of the Elder God rooms and what you need to do, and then obviously just do that relevant part for whatever section you're up to. So if you get asked to go to Intrana, which is the Bick Elder God, you want to travel there, and obviously you'll need to unequip all your combat items and deposit them in the bank, as you can't bring them with you. Once you have actually got onto the island, you want to locate the northern half of the island near the church and east of the dungeon, and Kipple will inform you when you get close to the correct spot, and you'll then have to retune him. That will then open a portal. Once you enter the portal, try opening the Bick door, and Kipple informs you that you've angered the mouthpiece and enemies will appear soon. Kipple will provide you with 3 weapons, 1 for each combat style, an air battle staff, a bronze dagger, and a charge bow, and you'll be attacked by 3 level 35 Bickra attendants. Killing one will spawn an unstable attendant, and the goal is to lure these unstable attendants near Kipple so it can disarm and place them next to the Bick door. When there are a total of 3 unstable attendants in place, light them up to blow the door open. After you've done that, you want to talk to Bickra, who speaks for Bick, an Elder God, and speak about Xenia. Then select the option addressing him as the Mighty One. He will then talk about Xenia and her business around his cave, and after talking with him again, you then want to speak to Kipple to track down the next place. So obviously when you're then looking for a new signal, it will be the same thing you've done for the first signal, so just repeat that. So if you pick up the location to go to the Elder God Full, which is Karamja Volcano, you'll want to obviously re-obtain your combat equipment if you had to deposit it to go on Intrana. Ranged or magic is the most advised for this section, but it's up to you. But what you want to do is travel towards the Karamja Volcano. So quickest way to get there would be to either teleport to Port Sarim and charter the chip over to Karamja, or if you've got an Amulet of Glory, you can use that to teleport to there. But once you're near Karamja Volcano, you want to tune Kipple's tracker to find the portal, which is just in front of the entrance to the Czar City. Enter the portal and the dialogue with Fulcra will appear. Kipper will attempt to debate with it while you fight level 44 Fulcra attendants, and as the battle progresses, patches of fire will spring up from the ground beneath you and continue to burn until the debate concludes. If using range or magic, it will be easier to avoid stepping onto the fires, but it will be difficult if using melee and an attendant stands on the fire. After a few minutes, Kipper will have finished debating. You want to talk to Fulcra and respond with any dialogue options, and after speaking with him, it's now time to tune Kipper's tracker to find the next portal. So the other place you could go to is the Elder God Wen, which is on White Wolf Mountain. So what you need to do is run along the eastern part of the mountain, and to get to White Wolf Mountain, the quickest way would be going to Taverley Lodestone. Kipper will then appear. Once you have appeared and retune him, you'll make a portal visible, and this portal will teleport you to an ice chamber where you have to solve a power management puzzle. Each circuit node outputs a certain amount of power, but some nodes will consume more power than they generate, causing your total units to decrease instead. The white spires will redirect power to its other pair, and you need to match the number of power units by activating or deactivating the correct nodes. Again, I think this is different for every player, and this gave me a little bit of a headache. The best thing will be just obviously keep doing a bit of trial and error until you have solved it. It's not overly difficult, it's just working out which ones are the best ones to activate. After solving all 4 of the puzzles, you'll then be able to speak to Wenkra, the voice of Wen, and after talking to Wenkra, talk to Kipper to track down the next place. So the 4th Elder God is Jazz, which is located in Sophanum. At this point, you'll need to make sure you have 23 inventory slots. So once you've spoken to Bickra, Fulcra and Wenkra, Kipper will help you find the Elder God Jazz. So this will be the last one, so you all would have had to have done the other 3 before you get to this one. You'll be led to east of Sophanum to find the Elder God Portal. So quickest way to get to the eastern part of Sophanum will be to go to Alcarid via the Alcarid Lodestone, travel to Shanty Pass and use the magic carp to go to Polnaviac, and use the Polnaviac magic carpet to go to Sophanum. And again, once Kipper has appeared, you can then use him to find the portal. So once you've entered the portal, you'll find Jaskra in a cave, and she'll refuse to speak to you until you can prove that you're not working with Xenia. You must prove your innocence, so search a shelf and 20 observations will appear in your inventory, and you'll have to combine 2 of them to link their events together and create a combined conversation. So you want to combine correction with transition to get We Stand Apart, dispersal with arrival to get Xenia Was Alone, evolution with imprinting to get Golem and I, predator with focus to get Ariane and the Golem, and conflict with condemnation to get the madness of friends. There are other combinations that serve no purpose in convincing, but after creating the combined observations above, use them all on Jaskra to trigger new dialogue. This will cause the combined observation to be consumed except for Ariane and the Golem and Golem and I. You want to combine them to create United We Stand and use it on Jaskra. And after the dialogue, talk to Kipple near the portal and he'll offer to tune himself to find Xenia, or you can do it yourself. At this point, I would definitely allow him to do it for you because you've probably had enough trying to find the different frequencies. But the final portal is in the Lumbridge Cemetery, and this is where you'll have to fight the final boss. So, obviously, quickest way to get back to Lumbridge is the Lumbridge Lodestone. Once you've entered the portal, a cutscene will start with Xenia kneeling in front of what looks like her portals. She will turn to you and mention how she was expecting you, but is surprised you are so slow in following her. She'll explain what she's been doing and why she's been stealing the energy from the voices of the Elder Gods, and she'll go on to explain that she's seen a premonition that the Elder Gods will awake and destroy Gielinor. Ariane herself appears next to you and confronts Xenia, and as it turns out, Xenia herself is referring to the Great Revision, that the idea that the Elder Gods will eat all the anima off Gielinor and destroy all life on it. Xenia is therefore trying to drain the anima herself, preventing the Elder Gods from awakening, but Ariane argues there will be no magic left on Gielinor. Eventually, whether you agree with Ariane or Xenia or neither of them, Ariel will proclaim her intention to kill Xenia, which Xenia does not believe, and another cutscene will occur in which Ariane will blast Xenia into the abyss, killing her, and the prehistoric Abyssal will then appear and attack you. So as it's covered in armour, it will only take 1 damage from all attacks and will regularly heal that damage. Also, if you attack it, it will follow you around the room and try to attack with melee, so do not attack it at all. The Abyssal will regularly summon an energy ball which will hit you for 1750 damage, so run around the room to avoid it, but it will follow you and after 10 seconds will self-destruct. Run over every area in the cavern until Kipple starts detecting energy. When he is done, an Abyssal Anchor will spawn and you need to attack it to destroy it. Note that you do not have to destroy an anchor once it spawns, you can still run around and let Kipple detect more anchors, allowing you to avoid energy balls, and then you can destroy all the anchors at once. But you want to destroy the 3 anchors and the Abyssal's armor will be destroyed, and a cutscene will occur where Ariane will be knocked back and Kipple will be destroyed. You can now deal damage to the prehistoric Abyssal. Magic strongly advised for the fight due to its weakness to air spells, and melee is annoying due to the knockbacks. Once the Abyssal is defeated, it will offer an ominous warning that due to Xenia's actions, the Elder Gods have begun to wake up. You then want to speak to Ariane to finish the quest. You can discuss more about Xenia with her. Additionally, you can also ask her about each of the Elder Gods, including Ma, who Ariane does not know much about. She will then reward you and tell you to come speak to her at Wizard's Tower. If you don't have the inventory space, she'll give you the reward once you speak to her again, but she has managed to salvage Kipple's heart, and together with the other Wizards of the Tower, she's created a smaller Kipple Namnal, which will give you as a pet. But either way, it will come up, congratulations, you completed Heart of Stone. You're awarded 1 quest point, 1500 Runecrafting and Magic experience, 2 500 combat experience lamps, 2 treasure hunter keys, and 2 Hearts of Ice. So yeah, really brilliant rewards depending on how annoying this bloody quest is. So I actually hated this quest so much only because it was pretty boring. Obviously the bit about the Elder Gods was quite interesting, but all the different puzzles and the things you had to do, it was just more of a headache than an enjoyment. So don't be surprised if you guys feel pretty pissed off after finishing this quest. I was, and then I thought, oh god, I'm going to have to try and make this into a good guide for you guys so you can actually finish it. The best thing really is just to grit your teeth and just try and plow through it. Like I said, a lot of my explanations are not going to help every single one of you, so a lot of it will just come down to you having a bit of trial and error, and eventually you will kind of figure it out. Like I said, there are post-quest rewards. If you speak to Ariane at a Wizard's Tower, she'll give you a Kipple Nano Pet. And also, if you talk to Azandra in the Seniston Temple and tell them what you discovered about the Elder Gods, you'll receive a medium experienced lamp. But obviously that will require certain quests to be completed in order to do that. And completing this quest requires to complete the Nomad Elegy quest, which is one of the newer quests to have come out. So you're going to have to complete this one at some point. But yeah, a lot of you probably will get stuck during this guide. If you leave a comment in the comment section below, I'll help you out as best as I can. But if it is mostly due to that little tracking signal thing, there's not much help that I'm going to be able to suggest. All I recommend is just keep trying different solutions and eventually you will crack it. Hopefully my tips during this guide will help you. But thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers everyone, bye bye.